Today is Growth Club Day. Growth Club is something I come to once a quarter to make my 90-day plan. It's a day set up by my business coach I work with. Coaching's made a real difference to the business. Anyway, I've got to go in, so I'll let you know how the day goes. But I generally quite enjoy these days because, that's not a bad setting, is it? And the food's really good. So, here we go. When I started my first SEO company, which was sometime around 2002, the honest truth about making money from SEO and running an SEO business was that you bought a keyboard and you kind of slapped at the keyboard and money fell out of it. Those aren't my words, words that a friend who also worked in an agency back then said to me. So I'm willing to admit that as an SEO agency owner, for the first, 12, 15 years, I just did what I wanted. I used to look at business training and even family members who are going and doing business degrees and thinking, well, I don't need that. Who can't do business? I just do my best and I make money. But eventually I realised that after those 12 or 15 years, I was in exactly the same place I'd been at the start. I was still doing everything myself. I was still working obscenely long hours. And if I'm honest, I wasn't making much money. I was getting by. I wasn't on the poverty line. I had a car and I bought a house and things were okay. But there was no real end goal. There was no real end point. And I'll confess and be quite open with you here, I got absolutely miserable. I was so sick of it. At the same time, I'd started other businesses that ran in conjunction with my SEO agency. So I had a hosting company, which kind of makes sense. Web hosting, websites, makes sense. I also had a record shop. That makes a lot less sense, if I'm honest, but I enjoyed it for a couple of years. So anyway, I found myself at a position where I thought, what am I going to do? I'm either going to quit now, because if I'm honest, I'm bored and I'm frustrated and I'm tired, or I'm going to learn how to do business properly. And that's why I'm here today. That's why I'm at this group coaching day. There are some other benefits to coming to these, like the food. The food is really good where we are. But the actual benefit is developing what we call a 90-day plan. And everybody in that room, just there with me, they run lots of different types of businesses. But everyone's here to take a day out from their business and plot and plan goals where they want things to go. These are all my notes. Oh, would you love to see my notes? I'm not going to share, sorry. And if you're watching this and you are a freelancer and you want to start an agency, or you're running an agency with maybe a handful of staff, or maybe it's just you, I thoroughly recommend you find yourself a business coach, or at the very least a mentor, or just someone you can speak to, because you can read all the books in the world, but you can't beat the experience of actually having someone listen to you properly and share their experience. And peers, people I've been talking to today, good friends in the group now, we've all become good friends. Mortgage broker, who I get on very well with, completely different business model to me, but there's a lot of common ground. He's facing the same challenges as me, and we're kind of there for each other, which is pretty neat. A guy I was just speaking to runs a promotional clothing brand. Again, same thing. He has the same challenges as me. It doesn't matter what we do. So, yeah, if you're an SEO agency, that's probably why you're watching this, but any type of business, just find yourself a coach. I have got a few notes here. So, as a part of the group coaching day, the Growth Club, we call it, and if you want to find out which business coach network I'm using, just look up Growth Club and you'll find it. Oh, screw it. My coach is a guy called Nick Gray. I'll put a link to his website in the comments. No matter where in the world you are, he'll work with you. Anyway, so part of these coaching days is our coach, Nick, runs a session that lasts all morning and just looks at some principal parts of business. And I've learned a few interesting things today. I've just got some notes which I'm going to share with you. One of the things we've been talking about is communication. So as an SEO agency owner, I've realised that I need to reconcile the taking care of everything that I do with my clients with showing value. So in SEO, I think it's fairly normal that we just go and get on with it. And our KPIs, the key performance indicators that we work to, are the rankings going up and our clients making more money. I mean, that's what it all kind of battles down to. So, yeah, you've seen it now, haven't you? What does that say? Yeah, it says Growth Club. But it can be quite difficult when invoicing a client at the end of the month, whatever amount you've agreed, to show what you've done. Because one of the challenges with SEO is sometimes change can be quite slow in coming. So I've got a note here that I need to show more value in the work I do with my clients, and that's challenging when you work on a basis of just taking care of everything. I mean, I don't want to bore my clients to death with all the details of what I do, but clearly I've got some room for improvement there. One of the other interesting things that came up is Nick, the coach, was talking about, he showed us some statistics showing that how most companies lose customers or clients, and I've written it down here: perceived indifference. Perceived indifference of your clients, of you to your clients, is the biggest threat to retaining clients. I'm very fortunate. Almost all my clients have been with me for years. I work with people in the long term. But yeah, perceived indifference, that is a real threat. I can see, if I think back to clients I've lost over the years, I can see that they were probably the clients who thought I didn't care. Now, I care deeply, but as I said earlier, the very neat nature of SEO is we spend a lot of time just beavering away in dark rooms doing our geek things. So I need to find a way to show some visibility for that. The other thing I've made a note of, it says create little wows. Now, I try and do this all the time because SEO is such a technical thing, and clients don't necessarily want the geeky details. They're kind of for us, they're what we dig. But I want to find more ways of creating little wows. I am actively doing this and always have done, especially when reporting at the end of the month. But I want to find ways during the month to open communication and show my clients the value of what they're paying for without boring them. And I think I can do that by creating little wows. So if I spot changes in rankings, I'm going to report them at the time. That's pretty much it, really. That's my takeaway from today. So I'm cautious about giving advice because there's a cliche that all advice is based on regret. Losing my notes now, mustn't lose those. I don't really have many regrets. I just really want to learn. I want to grow SEO into the best agency it can be and look after clients in the best possible way. Right, so as ever, if this has been thought-provoking for you, please make some notes in the comments. Please like, subscribe, and hit the little bell so that you find out when I make another video. They're probably not all going to be quite as in-depth as this, but I'm giving you this literally outside the venue that I'm at a coaching day for, and I just want to give it to you as fresh and visceral as it is in my head. So anyway, thanks for watching. I'm going to sit here and do nothing for a few seconds while the little boxes pop up showing you how to subscribe and showing you what other videos are available.